Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another special episode of Herschel Talkers, sponsored by the College Football Hour. We got Angry Scott and casual fan Kris. How are we doing today?
Hey Trey, let me just say that was
great intro, by the way.
That was a seamless introduction. I mean, I thought that I could almost see you trip over your dick right when you're saying it. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Herschel Talkers presents the College Football Hour with Trey.
Got a little scared there, hot
baby driver. It's okay. It's all right. It's 2022, man. There's don't give up on those New Year's resolutions yet.
Jumping right into it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Trying to get those subscribers up. Give us a like, comment, spread it around. We're on Twitter, post on Facebook, have our own YouTube page, Herschel Talkers. Check that out. Also, I want to say thank you to our sponsorship, Talking Dogs. Anything about Georgia football, they got the coffee shop that talks all the up-to-date stuff. They got talking swag. They got recruiting. Also have basketball, even though Georgia's terrible this year. Don't waste your time on that. I think the women's team's way better. So anything about Talking Dogs and Georgia football, please check them out and be a member of Talking Dogs. Jumping right into it. Georgia in the Scott loves this Capital One Orange Bowl. I think he wanted to get a credit card after that, right? Right, Scott? Capital One Orange Bowl.
Absolutely.
34-11 beatdown, dismantling blowout of Michigan, 34-11. I'm sure our guys over here, Scott and Trey, love that. We'll get into that. But Georgia, from my thoughts, looked great. Defense, I knew when Nakobe Dean, does he mind Nakobe Dean 17 or great linebacker?
Yes.
At the first of the game, when they scanned over and showed a picture of him, he had this laser focus. I'm going to kill everybody look. And I'll turn it over to my buddy Dan. We're watching the game. I go, dude, watch out. And dude, he was all over. And they were comparing him to another great linebacker, Roquan Smith. That's debatable who's better. I felt like he took over the game, the defensive line, as they did in the other 11 games, other than the Alabama game, took over and dominated. Stetson Bennett looked great, didn't turn the ball over, which was great. 20 of 30, 313, 3 touchdowns. James Cook did his thing. He's looking more and more like his brother. I wouldn't say he's there yet, but I think he definitely added to his draft stock. He had 4 receptions, 112 yards and a touchdown. We had 190 yards, which we were able to run the ball, but I believe we scored on the first 4 or 5 possessions. And the first 2 drives kind of told the tale. I felt like we kind of punched them in the mouth, and then they could get nothing going. Michigan, Cade McNamara, 2 picks. We shut down the Haskins kid, only 39 yards. We had on a 91 yards rushing, and I just felt like complete beat down on all areas. So it was a great win, even though we know we've got Alabama, the bogeyman is what that reporter said. It should be the boogeyman with Nick Saban.
So is that like a golf reference, right? He's the bogeyman.
Actually, it's it's the serial killer like Michael Myers. They were quoting that on one of the podcasts today, 1978, where the little kid says, "You can't kill the boogeyman." I felt like that's where it came from, because you can't kill him, and Michael Myers is still alive. So that's the reference I got. But anyway, the reporter mispronounced it and said bogeyman. I don't know what she was talking about. Kirby Smart. He didn't know what he was talking.
Well, it's because he wears that golf hat all the time, and which is it's a requirement in the SEC that one coach always wear a golf hat visor.
It is. So 34-11, another big one, and I'll throw it over to you guys. I thought another bad look at the first of the game was Jim Harbaugh to not wear the khakis, Kris. He came out with the navy pants on. I was like, hey, that's a bad sign there.
Bad omen. I guess it hides it if he craps his pants.
He does.
I have a couple comments to make, and so I don't go on a full, rant. I'll make some comments and let Kris chime in as well. Well, they say Jim Harbaugh's big deal when he came to Michigan was who has it better than us. I guess the answer to that question is Georgia. That's who has it better than you. And Ohio State for the last 20 years. So I just can never get enough of sad Michigan fan. Trey, do you have some pictures of sad Michigan fans that we can put up?
Yes, sir. We can bring that up. Here, the first one that Scott said over here. All of these are sponsored by our resident Ohio State fan here. How about that guy? What's he thinking?
Oh, look at that.
Surrender, Cobra. It's only 27-3. It's going to get worse. We have another sad Michigan fan.
see what else we got here. We also have these guys. What are these guys thinking? 34-3.
I don't see it yet.
Can you see that, Kris? Or no?
It's not yet.
It looks like Surrender Cobra.
I got Surrender Cobra, which is still a beautiful sight.
Oh, let me share it again. Sorry.
Well, I'll start going into, it was New Year's Eve.
How about
and
that?
here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, arms crossed, 34-3, accepting defeat. Oh, I love it. And I've only seen 20 years of accepting defeat when Ohio State plays Michigan. So, full disclosure, it was New Year's Eve. I had no intentions. I already worked out. I had no intentions of getting drunk, but it did happen. So 6 or 7 beers later, but it was all for the dismantling of the vaunted Michigan defense that didn't show up. Maybe not so much on that. So, I will say this: from the very beginning of the game, Georgia dominated the trenches. You could see that. They were pushing them around.
Sorry, Scott. I think this guy was on a milk carton. I didn't really hear his name that much.
We didn't. And so, that's the other thing is, hey, you should have this, and he's still going to be a top 10 draft pick, defensive end. But I mean, Georgia dominated the trenches, but not only offensively but defensively, pushed Michigan around the whole game, and then just really Georgia could do no wrong. So the other thing I'll say with this is, this was redemption for Georgia. They played like the team that could win the national championship, and I'm calling it. If they play like that, they should win the national title. It's, I don't know what we do to just get over the boogeyman or the bogeyman. Maybe if we just, dress Nick Saban up with like a Jim Harbaugh, mask on instead of the Michael Myers, or maybe he just puts on some khakis or different uniforms. Anybody who's not Alabama, then Georgia should go in there, because that's a team we've seen all year out of Georgia. That's why I was so surprised to see what happened in the SEC championship when they got their ass kicked by Bama. That being said, you have a chance for redemption. So it's not only is it about, for me, having a chance to enjoy Michigan's defeat and sad Michigan fan, but it's also an opportunity for Georgia to get redemption. And I think that's really what's going to happen. That's what I'm feeling. Before I go in some long rant, Kris, would you like to chime in?
Oh, dude, I love the whole game, top to bottom. So what's that old phrase? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I just super impressive win. Like you said, Trey, didn't see much from our old buddy Aiden Hutchinson, who gave Ohio State some fits. But I think it's just a testament to how efficient your guys' offense was clicking and how massive those young men were up front, just protecting the QB and making lanes for the running back. So really impressed with Cook, and forgive me, but I'm still kind of educating myself on the dogs. But my guy Zeus White, is that his name?
Jameer White, yeah, he's
studs.
Yeah.
Studs. So like Scott mentioned, if you run as well as you did this past on New Year's Eve, it's going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be a hell of a game.
This is just the other thing I'll say is this is, just another example of the more time that passes, because there's what was there like 3 or 4 weeks in between those games. So if you're going to go and beat a team like Alabama, or you're going to beat a team like Ohio State, the best time to catch them is just a week in between games. Because, hey, man, don't disrespect to Texas A&M and their 4 losses and they pushed out at a bowl game. But, I'm sorry, COVID issues, but pushed out. Anyways, but, everybody's, oh, hey, Texas A&M, that means they could beat all these other teams. Maybe not. They still lost a lot of games in the SEC. But your best chance to beat a team like Alabama or one of these other teams is when there's 1 week to prepare in the middle of the season and you catch them at home with the home crowd and everything else. The thing that tells you about these playoff games and a lot of bowl games too is the better team is almost always going to win with 3 to 4 weeks to prepare. You have 3 to 4 weeks, unless you have, in this day and age, COVID issues or somebody's injured, that's your best chance. So you're always going to usually have the better team that's going to win, or other times the more motivated team, And we'll talk about that when we talk about Ohio State, Utah, that I thought Utah was the more motivated team. It still wasn't enough. And we'll kind of get into that. But what were your other thoughts on the game there, Kris?
Um, Again, what's his name on defense? Number 17, the Kobe Dean.
Oh yeah, beast.
Bad young man. Bad young man. Um, Again, I love how you guys exercise those demons from the earlier loss to Bama in the SEC championship game. It's a great win, but also it's the best feeling to have going into the national championship. So going into the Natty, you blew out Michigan. Also, bonus points. I read on Sports Illustrated a while back, but in preparation for the game, you guys went across campus and crossed out all the M's on all the school buildings. So I love seeing that tradition too. So just way to take care of business.
Awesome.
I'm just glad to see that I got to see the Jim Harbaugh that I know and love, and that's choking on the chicken bone in the big games. So I know we felt, with all the comments he made, we're feeling really great about ourselves, even though you got a young Ohio State team at home, and you finally beat us. Congratulations. But you didn't get that win over Michigan State, and Ohio State just had their biggest game of the year. Did we have flu issues? Was there not? I'll say that because at least we didn't puss out on Ohio State didn't on even playing back in 2020, and they said it was COVID issues, but I think that sounds like an excuse. Look, the flu would be an excuse as well, but here's the deal: being an Ohio State fan, it's very clear that I'm an Ohio State fan. So yes, Georgia, congratulations, but it's really more about Trey. Can you go ahead and define what sadistic is? Do you have a definition of that for me?
I believe I do. Hold on just a second. Forgot. Oh. Hold on. Hey, one last thing. So while I'm looking up that, where do you think I know Michigan was a bad loss and it was humble. Like, where do you think Michigan, I don't know if you guys care, where do they kind of go from here, and where do you see them kind of going forward? Oh, here we go. There's your statistics. How about?
Okay. Kris, can you read that for me?
Why, yes, Professor. Deriving pleasure from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on others.
I'm not usually a sadistic person, but when it comes to Michigan, yes, I am very sadistic. I enjoy their pain. Sad Michigan fan I can't get enough of. So we'll talk about where they go from here, but I'm just glad to see Jimmy Harbaugh choking under the big game. Sad Michigan fan. We showed some pictures of them. The thing is, when Ohio State broke through, because yes, Michigan dominated us in the 90s, nowhere near the way Ohio State's dominated the last 20 years over Michigan. But we won a national title in 2002. In fact, we've won 2 national titles over the last 20 years. But, and everybody talks about, with Bo and Woody, and Bo won the 10-year war. Well, he won the 10-year war, but how many national championships did Bo Schembechler win during that time? 0. How many did Woody win over his career? 5. So, that just shows you the standard's different. I just thought it was great because you had all this high and mighty and, hey, we're back and all the other stuff. I mean, wow. They really got their ass beat down. I mean, Georgia could just do no wrong. I saw from the very beginning, there was just hardly anything that they missed on. They had that early 4th down that they missed. Michigan did. And then Georgia just kept on taking it to them. In fact, I also was watching the game, and then there was a rainstorm that came through DirecTV, get it together. But it just went ahead, and the game cut out for a while, but it came back and Georgia's up even more. That was in the 3rd quarter. So still didn't matter. Georgia win big. They just did not have an answer for them. Now, Trey, what was the SEC record in bowl games going into that game?
It was
Wasn't
1-5, and then Alabama won. We won. It was actually 1-5 because you remember South Carolina won Thursday in the Duke Mayo Bowl. So they were 1-5, and then they actually pulled off 4 straight. So that'd be 5-5, and then they lost the Ole Miss game 5-6. And there's a chance tonight. Checking out, what's that bowl tonight?
Man, dude, that's really what this show is about, the Tax Act Bowl between LSU and Kansas State. I mean, you just, what the hell is that doing on the Tuesday? After all, there's only one game left after this national championship. It's crazy. What do they do?
For the true fans, bro. True fans.
Yeah, it's the hangover. It's the hangover bowl. I don't even know what you call that. So if they win, we'll be 500, Scott. A little more respectful because it means more.
Well, so 1-5 going into that game.
We were.
Of course, hey, what you do have your hat to hang on the SEC is that they're both, 2 SEC teams, destroy the other 2 teams and playing for a national title. So I don't know. Where does Michigan go from here? They're going to say, oh, hey, this is just the beginning, but I got to see a defeated man again and sad Jim Harbaugh. So it's kind of like, okay, you did enough to beat Ohio State, a good Ohio State for the first time in 18 years. And everybody that says, oh, they beat them in 2011, that was a bad Ohio State team. But the first time you beat a good Ohio State team in 18 years, and you got them at home and you had a recipe for that. Okay. But you don't have a recipe when you go play Georgia. You got your ass beat down, And hey, Ohio State's had their ass beat down in some of those games. And Kris and I were at the Ohio State Florida game years ago, but then we had to we had to adjust to that as well. So, and we did, if you beat us by that much, then we still can coach. I'm about to talk about Urban Meyer. And now, maybe we don't want Urban so much, maybe some videos are out there of ass grabbing and other things, but that's another story. But great college football coach. So I don't know where they go from here. Hey, you did enough to win the Big Ten for the first time since 2004. But, if you really do want to win national titles, because that's the way they're playing Jim Harbaugh to win national titles, they're still, you're not there. You're still far away. And Georgia, you've been through your ups and downs. And first time Georgia's been in the playoffs, in 4 years? Is that right, Trey?
Right, 2017.
So, hey, you've improved your program more. I still think they have the most talented team, Georgia does, in all of college football. That's why I was so surprised to see the way they play the SEC championship against Bama. If the team plays like this Monday night, they showed that stat about all the teams that like when Florida and Florida State played back in '96 or whatever it was, and all these other teams that play a second time, it's like 5 examples of a top team like that. The other team always goes and wins. So Trey, let me ask you: don't you want to go and exercise those demons as well, from a Georgia fan?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's all you hear about it. That's what Kirby is known for. That's what he's left. He's won the Orange Bowl, he's won the Sugar Bowl, he's won the Peach Bowl. He's beat Lincoln Riley, he's beat Dabo Sweeney. All the major coaches, it's Saban, it's Alabama, it's right there over his head. So to exercise the demons, Rocky IV against Drago, Predator, if he bleeds, we can kill it. I mean, all the homage movies and everything. Are
you saying if he dies, he dies?
It's right there. But I will say the word back. Yeah, exactly. I will say this though, and Sean was texting me that it could have been. He's just like, if they don't win, he was saying this is the slow end of Kirby Smart. And I was like, well, what does that mean? Like, where would he be? He's not going anywhere. I could see him getting an extension. So there'll be a meltdown in the offseason on the Georgia fan base, and kind of like, where are we at nationally? Because like, you lost again. You got Nick Saban's holding up another trophy, number 8, and we're still sitting here like right there. And we're losing 8-9 guys on defense. We're losing a lot. We're probably going to be down, take a little bit of step back next year. I could see us win the East, but Bryce Young's going to be there. I think you guys are going to be loaded at Ohio State. So it's just like, it's right there. It's teed up. And this is
I don't think this is the end. I don't think this is the end of Kirby Smart. If Kirby Smart, if he doesn't win it, but then it's got to happen. You got your window. It's got to happen the next couple of years, or you might come, the Mark Ricks of the world, where you can just never get over.
I want to beat Saban before he retires, because they always beat. Yeah, and I don't want to like us win 1 or 2 down the line when Saban's not there either. I want to beat him when he's there. That was always one thing. Just give me one against Saban.
What are your thoughts, Kris, on both? Where does Michigan go from here, and also Georgia?
I think Michigan kind of showed their hand where they're going from here. So I do love the fact, again, kudos Georgia, that you whooped them so bad that they went ahead and said, let's go ahead and get a look at J.J. McCarthy. Let's get a look at this young guy. So I think you put a lot of doubt in their minds. I think McNamara's got another year or 2 left, doesn't he, Scott?
Yeah, I believe so. But I mean, yeah, JJ McCarthy was like a 5-star, high recruit type of deal. So I don't know. McNamara, I think, is from Nevada or something, but
yeah. Espen says he's a junior, right? So
he's a junior. So is he a redshirt junior or regular junior?
That I don't know. But
so anyways, maybe another
warm
year
up the old transfer portal for him.
Right.
To me, if you get some burn in the big game, we saw him a little bit earlier too, right? But I think maybe old Harbaugh might show his hand a little bit more and give it to McCarthy. Maybe start handing the keys over. But I think they're going to end the year still pretty confident. They might even think they can still beat us next year, but I don't know. They're going to be solid contenders. I did see a quick rumor. I think it's from the Atlantic. There's some interest from the NFL again, and this time old Harbaugh might be interested back. So keep our eyes peeled. Maybe he's
Where did you hear that from? Did you hear that from a realistic source, or is that just like, dare I say, fake news, or just out there to, oh, hey, maybe I can now get my buyout to be higher? Because to your point, I don't think he was going to leave Michigan until he finally beat Ohio State, which, let's be honest, if they wouldn't have pushed out last year, he would be 1-6 against Ohio State. Right. So it'd be even tougher to climb out of that hole. But now that he's done that, and he brought them here, and he thinks he's brought the program back, at least to make it to the playoffs, maybe now he would leave. I don't know.
So this is just something that popped up on Bleacher Report, which was referenced from Bruce Feldman of The Athletic. So again, this is just rumblings, how these NFL rumors go. So grain of salt. But, I mean, Harbaugh may have peaked just enough to get some interest, peaked at Michigan just enough to get some interest back in the NFL. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just super glad to see. Here's what I'll say. I watched College Game Day, and Desmond, you can tell that Desmond is a Michigan fan. He tries to hold back, but he's a Michigan fan. Now you watch Kirk Herbstreit, and it's like, you went to Ohio State? Are you sure you're not like a closet Ohio State hater? So, but it's just like, you'll kind of get the opposite, and we'll talk more about that in the Ohio State, Utah matchup on Herbstreit. But you could definitely tell that, man, it's, hey, look, I'm not getting it, man. He went to school there. Desmond's a Michigan guy, but I'm just so glad that it's got to be tough with that halftime report, because you got Pollock, a Georgia guy, and Desmond, a Michigan guy, and he was Desmond was kind of smiling like Mark Bay did years ago. If anybody watched the Ohio State Alabama game, and he was just kind of like, uncomfortably smiling, because it's like, Mark May want to come and troll Ohio State fans, and then Ohio State won that game. So I kind of saw that at halftime from Desmond, and even Pollock was trying to like hold back, like, okay, well, we'll see what happens in the second half. So at the end of the day, I'm just so glad to, know that all is right with the world, and Jim Harbaugh is choking again in big games.
Yep. But I think I answered everything. But if not, what's next for Kirby Smart and the Dogs? Regardless, I think Kirby's going to be around for a while. Going to keep positive vibes out there for the Dogs to win the championship. If not, just maybe see some shakeups or significant structural changes with the assistants. I mean, again, you guys have the talent. You guys have the pipeline to the talent, the development. It's just getting over that edge.
I agree.
Do you think, Trey, that they can have Georgia go? Or do you think they could petition to have Alabama put on different uniforms that of anybody else? Do you think we can get that to happen?
Actually, yeah. Give them like Penn State jerseys. They got pretty much the same setup. Just put Penn State on. I think we can.
That's all you got to do, man. You just got to get over that uniform. That's all it takes.
I agree. I think it's mental, and hopefully, a second time.
Even though, look, I know you're scared to death. But I think you'll win. And I think you want to just get over as long as you win, you want it to go through Bama, but just realize that this time you have to play both halves.
My only big thing real quick before we'll jump into Ohio State and Utah. I still don't understand why Vegas is putting Georgia. I think it's up to 3 points. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
That scares you to death. That's your relationship with hope, my friend. Because you know why? You see that rat poison. You see that yummy rat poison. And and Alabama never loses as an underdog, right?
And I don't want them to have any bulletin board material, because Saban will beat that in their head all week. But hard to beat.
We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I think you do have the more talented team. No disrespect to Kirby Smart, but you don't have the better coach. And that's just, but nobody does.
I agree. Oh, yeah. So. He's the GOAT. Yeah, exactly. All right, we will talk about Ohio State and Utah on the other side.
Hey, get those descriptions up. But what is the name of the show again, Trey?
Herschel Talkers
presents the College Football Hour. Like and subscribe.
Thanks.
All right, boys. See you soon.
See you soon.
Juice. There it is. Oop.